Hey there, this is Tammy Coin, and I am doing video number 2. Actually, there's been a lot of videos, but I'm committed to 30 videos in 30 days. And today I thought we would talk a little bit about meditation as medicine and can silence heal your body? So let's get into this. Are you afraid of silence? I was. I was terrified of silence. I have a significant history of trauma and abuse, and for me, silence was deafening. I had trouble sitting still. My central nervous system was just like, just like a lightning storm all the time. And sitting still, attempting to clear my mind, felt much more like torture than peace. And I had so much unrest going on in the middle, in the midst of my body all the time. I thought, well, let's try meditation. And I had never meditated before. This was back in 2011. Um, Subsequent to a near-death situation in 2010, I had an emergency surgery, which I was moments away from death that day. And in 2011, I decided, you know what? Something has got to change. I have, been in the medical system for so long due to all of the repercussions of trauma and abuse on my body. And I had been through 30 years of traditional counseling, and I'm like, there has got to be something else. Like I've done all the things, and yet all the things that I knew about at the time. And I thought, well, what about meditation? At that time, I was working in the federal government. I didn't know anybody who knew how to meditate. I didn't know even what that meant, really. And one day I was at a tea house, local tea house near where I was living at the time. There was a Natural Awakenings magazine, and I'd never seen that magazine before either. I happened to open it up and it said Mindfulness Meditation 101, Learn to Meditate. And I was like, that's for me. And I was terrified. I had no idea what to expect. I was raised in Oklahoma. I was living in the Bible Belt. I was not really sure what any of these alternative kinds of things were about. And I like to say the day I was going, I was shaking so badly that I thought, I don't know if they do sacrifices here. Like I don't know what to expect. And I realized that seems crazy to some people, but those were the fears I had. I didn't know what I was walking into. And I felt like I was walking off the edge of a cliff. And but I was committed. I was committed to finding something that was going to help me. And I walked in, and there was this dear, sweet lady there, and she said, "Welcome, dear one, and please find a seat that's comfortable for you." And I was like, wow, no one has ever spoken to me quite like that. I feel teary. No one has ever spoken to me quite like that. And I didn't know what was going to happen that day, but I knew I instantly felt at peace just being in the presence of the space and her. So she proceeded to teach us about meditation. And for me, I found myself fidgety. I found myself not doing it right, or at least not doing it right is what I thought. And really feeling like, I gotta get this right. I gotta get this right, and really trying to do everything I could to get it and to do it right. because that was another thing. I was all about the perfectionism and everything had to be a certain way. And the more I learned, the more I practiced. And I didn't get it right. And I didn't get it wrong. Because with meditation, there really is no way to get it wrong. So what you do is you learn to be with what is. And I did the best I could. And I often tease that I learned to meditate 1 minute at a time in the bathroom stall at the Federal Aviation Administration, where I worked at the time. I worked with someone who infuriated me on a regular basis. She had betrayed me. And every time I saw her, I felt instantly pissed off. And I thought, okay, every time this happens, I've got a headache, my neck hurts, my back hurts. Maybe there's something to this meditation thing. And I could never quite figure out how to clear my mind. So I began with saying words. And I thought, what words is my body crying out for? And my body was crying out for peace, and my body was crying out for love. So I would go in that bathroom stall and I would focus on my breathing. And every time I would breathe in, I would say peace in my mind. And every time I would breathe out, I would say love in my mind. And then I would feel myself calming down, and I could go back and deal with this person again because they were sitting like 6 feet from me all day, every day. And every time they would anger me, I would get up and I would take a little walk and I would focus on those words. Or I would go in the bathroom stall and I would focus on those words. Or I would go outside and be in nature and I would focus on those words, all the while also focusing on my breathing. What happened over time was I began to be able to be with her, be in a space with her, and be okay with her. She had no idea any of this was going on because none of this was for her. It was for me. And so is meditation medicine? Damn straight it is. Was it the only thing that got me to here? Because eventually I became a meditation teacher too, as well as some other things. But that silence, eventually I didn't need the words either, but that silence helped me tune in to the person who was crying out for my help, and it was me. And there was no other way for me to get to that part of me that needed me without the silence. When you come from a history such as mine, you're all about the busy, 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 busy. And I'm pretty damn busy now, but it's different. Now I know how to get into silence. Now I know that meditation can take many forms. Now that I know sitting on a cushion, looking a certain way, being completely silent with no thoughts in your mind isn't the only way to meditate. What I've learned is that there are all sorts of ways to meditate that can bring such inner peace to your world, to your inner world, which then translates to your outer world. And it's not the only thing I've done, but it was the beginning of a new technique for me that I didn't know. The only thing I had known or understood before was to go to a counselor. I didn't know about coaches. I didn't know about holistic modalities. I didn't really know about any of those things. It was like some sort of secret world that I'd never been a part of. And so I was looking and looking and looking and looking for all these solutions for peace outside of myself. And what began to bring me peace was learning to be silent. So How do you feel about that? Have you had trouble with meditation? Have you experienced what I have? Or am I alone in this? Does it sound crazy that I was a girl who couldn't be still, that I couldn't handle silence, or all of the things? Tell me, where are you on this journey? What's going on with you? So thank you for watching. This is Tammy Coin. I am your holistic alchemist. I am an intuitive, strategic transformation coach and educator. And in the description, I will add a link if you would like to schedule a free consultation with me. That gives us an opportunity to spend about an hour together and kind of see what you've got going on, see if I can help you, or if I'm not the one to help you, perhaps give you a resource for someone who could. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.